More on our top story. Former President Donald Trump believes he'll be arrested on Tuesday, citing illegal leaks from the Manhattan DA's office, probing hush money payments made during the 2016 campaign.
Our next guest calls this a travesty of justice.
Former federal prosecutor Francey Hakes joins us now. Francey, so great to have you on this morning. Is this a political prosecution, or does Alvin Bragg have anything to hang his hat on here?
Well, you know, Rachel, it's hard to say it's anything but political when you look at a DA in Manhattan who drops over 50% of felony charges in that crime-ridden city down to misdemeanors. And yet he's managed to try to find a way outside the statute of limitations where cases would normally be barred to bootstrap a felony into a misdemeanor that's maybe a state crime, maybe a federal crime. The feds declined to prosecute. The Federal Election Commission declined to prosecute. Yet Alvin Bragg thinks he has a crime here. I think it seems political to me.
So, Francey, with all of that you just described, perhaps the expiration of a statute of limitations, clearly trying to charge it up from a misdemeanor to a felony. Is it even a straight state crime? I'm curious. We've talked about New York City juries. What about a New York City judge? I mean, would this, in your mind, what is the fairness of the available pool of judges that maybe this doesn't go very far anyway? This gets dismissed pretty quickly. Should he bring charges and arrest Donald Trump as is expected?
Yeah, you know, Will, if you look at the January 6 defendants in comparison, when you talk about, for example, after all that footage came out that Tucker Carlson released that had lots of really interesting information on it that had been previously withheld, not just from the public, but from those January 6 defendants. And when one was about to go to trial and made a motion for a continuance, just so his defense attorney could go through that footage to see if there was anything exculpatory on it, the judge in D.C. denied the motion. And so the defendant went to trial and got convicted without knowing whether there was exculpatory evidence. And the judges in New York are the same. They're Democrats, they're pro-Bragg, they're anti-Trump, and I don't see any of them stepping out of their Democrat lane.
That's depressing.
So to make this kind of extend the statute of limitations to get past that, I guess, hurdle for Alvin Bragg, you said you think that he might put some type of conspiracy charge on top of this to extend the statute of limitations, which would be 5 years from the last time they conspired. But doesn't that all hinge on Michael Cohen's credibility?
It really does, Joey, because I think in order to show that there is this extended statute of limitations, and it's a way federal prosecutors do it all the time. I did it. You charge a conspiracy, and then whatever the last act of the conspiracy is the time that that statute starts running. So to get inside that 5-year period, I think Bragg will most likely charge a conspiracy. He has to. This crime happened over 7 years ago, and the person with whom he's going to allege that Trump conspired is Michael Cohen, his lawyer, the convicted felon, convicted liar who testified before the grand jury reportedly last week.
Francey, what does this do to the country? Because I thought I was depressed before, and then I heard you say that you brought up what happened with the January 6th situation and the judges, and you're saying these judges are just as political. I mean, what is this country if we don't have equal justice under the law? I'm just worried about what this could mean. Are we crossing, if he gets arrested, and convicted, what does this mean for our country and our faith in the institutions?
Well, this is a really serious time because this is Banana Republic sort of stuff.
Amen.
Using the law as a weapon against a political opponent is so wrong. It's one of the main reasons that the United States of America formed and broke away from England, because of all the injustice in the criminal justice system at the time from the king. And that's what's happening here. You've got someone acting like a king in Alvin Bragg, who's decided that because he doesn't like a political opponent, he's going to twist the law into a pretzel in order to get him.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. Really enlightening, Francey. Thanks for jumping on with us this morning and helping us explain what this is all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Francey.
Thanks, y'all.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.